Hey everyone, and welcome to the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports podcast. I'm your host, Josh. SalvationsElite to my right is Bash _ Bo3 Sam, and to our farthest right, per usual, Rex Shady Nero. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 100 of the Best of 3 pod, man. We made it all the way here. Things you love to see. And so today, we're having some fun. We're going to be doing a Q&A, answering some very spicy questions that you guys submitted. We are doing the hottest operators today. And of course, we're going through all the news of the week. It's going to be a fun one. And definitely, I would say there's going to be some controversial questions too, so stick around. But before we get any of that, guys, I got to ask, boys, what's going on?
Well, Josh, I'm feeling like a lighter, and I'm just I'm flickering about, and whatever, and I flip the metal switch, and poof, my flame bursts, and I'm sitting there and basking in my heat and in my aura, and all of a sudden, some child, some little girl comes along, licks her finger, and puts it on my head. I'm out.
Oh, because
she has dimmed my flickering flame, but heed my warning. I have a metal button that I can burst into flames again and burn your finger, little girl. So don't play with fire.
Happy 100.
Play with fire. Happy 100, baby. Let's go. We can explode at any point. We're on fire always. Things you love to see. No, I mean, it's wild. So I'm going to be tomorrow, but before this thing goes live, I'm posting a compilation of all of Shady Nero's intros. It's going to be all of them. And so I wanted to go back and answer the question about when this thing even started in the first place. When did the intro even begin?
The origin story.
The origin story of the intro. And what happened actually was that basically on episode 9, which back then our audio was still terrible. We were still trying to figure out the whole podcasting thing. But basically, I asked, like, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? And then, like, before that, was always Rex and Sam were just kind of like, we're good. What's up? Nothing much. Like,
Feeling fine.
We're doing all right. And then that day, Rex just came in with you know what, Josh, I'm feeling. And then suddenly, it took a 1 episode break. And then on episode 11, from there on out, it's happened. So he's done, like, what, 90 of them now? That was, like, number 89 or 90, I guess.
One of them was a quiz, something about a cheetah.
Oh, that's true. And one time you were an ice cube because you were gone. And then one time it was I hold shift. So
yes. Perfect stand-in. Keeps the record going.
Yeah. So there have been a few, but all the way in between. So episode 100, we made it here. Sam, how you doing?
Doing great, man. I got myself a little drink
celebration.
With some ice in there, and I got my pinky out.
Ooh, okay.
Feeling good, man.
I love it.
100 weeks. 100
I mean, that's
weeks.
the thing. It's been 100 straight weeks. So that, that's pretty cool.
That's a cheers. That's
pretty
a cheers.
happy about that. I mean, that's
be honest. I didn't know we'd make it this far.
Yeah. I mean, it dates back to before the CDL started. So it was like right after roster mania of BO4 heading into Modern Warfare, somewhere like right around November of 2019. So things love to see. But with that said, I mean, there's a lot to go over today. Sam, do you have any reviews for us this week? I mean, this is episode 100, the big 100. So, I mean, I'm sure you had those queued up and ready to go, considering we've done this 100 times.
Some people are leaving reviews in the YouTube comments,
They're leaving reviews in the YouTube comments. So, I mean, I'm sure you had one ready to go, right?
And here it is. I had it the whole time. I was waiting for you to stop talking. So,
of course.
Here it is. And this one is titled The 100th Special.
Oh, my word.
From Meamp. I'm going to say Meamp.
This is on Apple or Spotify?
On Apple.
Oh, this is on Apple.
Apple. Mm-hmm. The podcast is now 100 episodes in by the time it's read live. Wow. Look at this.
Wow. He's the one. He gets the 100.
I have to be honest.
A prophet.
As far as Call of Duty League content goes, this show is S tier. Whoa.
Facts.
Every COD fan wishes they had a group of guys like this to talk COD with, and these guys are filling that void. I'm about to cry.
Mm-hmm.
When are you guys doing show matches with random viewers? Make a Mario captain and run it. I call Bash's team.
Whoa. Wait, what is
this? Your man, Desma.
Dude.
Desma. What a
Desma's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I'm going to tear up.
Okay, first of all,
if we were to do teams, my team would dominate. So yeah, me and Desmond, we need 2 more.
I don't.
No, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, so it would definitely be fun. I want to have like a night where we podcast /GB. I don't know, it's like the episode is
That would be fun.
GBs.
That'd be fun.
And they're just listening to us play GB.
We need to do like
We'll have to have like topics, like thrown in, so like in between rounds or something.
like 4 teams, like us 3 and then Amari, and then like go through each Call of Duty.
And then
and
then there's like
who's the
speed
best.
questions between every single round that we have to answer.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
Guys,
pretty
can we
epic.
go through the years with COD? We'll like do like a Modern Warfare remastered GB,
wow.
and then we'll go to Black Ops 2 or whatever.
That'd be a good time.
Kind of like go through the years, one map in each.
I
or
think
something.
so. I actually did want to read one more review because we had a handful of them on YouTube. So if you guys dropped, because like last time we read, we had a fun YouTube reviews episode, so we read some YouTube reviews. But some people still left some YouTube reviews. I thought I'd read one. From Eli Reed, 5 out of 5 stars. The most well-deserved 5-star review. Congrats on 100 episodes, boys. Been listening to the pod since the middle of Modern Warfare season, and in honor of your 100th episode, I went back and listened to your very first episode just for the lulz.
Oh no!
I must say, y'all have been killing it from day one, but the improvement from then to now is definitely equivalent to that of an Italian fine wine. It gets better with age. Thank you, gentlemen, for the countless laughs, hot takes, and intense Rex reflections on how he's doing from week to week. Anyways, looking forward to the next 100 and Tuesday evenings with next 100 Tuesday evenings with the boys. Love you guys. Best of 3 forever. So shout out Eli Reed, man.
I wonder what did we even talk about in the first episode?
I don't even know.
Like, this is the new podcast.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, we're starting a podcast and don't know what we're doing. We still don't know what we're doing.
I could probably find it, but basically, yeah, there was a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out everybody. You guys can listen on Apple Podcasts. You can listen on Spotify, of course. You can watch on YouTube. You can drop that 5-star reviews. We appreciate all those 5-star reviews, and we read them for us as often as possible. So we appreciate that a lot. Appreciate everybody for dropping all of the kind comments as well.
Yes.
It means a lot and goes a long way. So without further ado, guys, we can get into the news of the week and talk about what's all going on in this crazy COD world. Let's hit it.
The Call of Duty News of the Week.
News here, come get your news.
That works.
Looking like you're on an airplane, like in a dying crash. You're like,
In my head, it made more sense.
I respect it, though. I respect it.
What
do we got
FaZe
for news
going
this week,
public,
baby?
FaZe going public.
Yes.
This is somewhat probably older news at this point, but news nonetheless. They're going to be on the stock market.
Very interesting. I mean, this is a pretty
insane.
crazy step for gaming for FaZe. I mean, like think
They
about
aren't
that.
the first one though, I don't think.
No,
right?
well, Luminosity is technically public as well, but like for FaZe to kind of like with how their transition went to public is really unique, I think, and really cool.
Yeah. Their ticker is going to be BRPM. With B Riley Principal.
And also
150
search
merger
this
core.
FaZe too. So it's pretty cool. I mean, definitely dope. I'm not exactly sure. Like I saw some like comparisons of them versus Barstool Sports, like their evaluations. So it is interesting because it's like they are currently they make less revenue than Barstool did at the time when Barstool got bought out and went public.
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting to see kind of like how that's gonna come down here with acquisitions and how that plays out for their company moving forward.
So
but my goodness, they got the bag.
Could they technically, like the shareholders, like kick out FaZe Banks if they wanted to?
I mean, they can't kick him out. They could.
Not kick him out of the
Board of
like,
directors could fire him as like CEO or whatever.
That's so
I guess.
weird.
Technically.
It's just so weird to like not be in control of that. I mean, it's
why do you want them to
happen.
fire Banks, Sam?
No. I don't want to. I got nothing
Kidding, I'm
against
just trying to
Banks.
stir the pot.
If for whatever
pot, baby.
For whatever insane reason he would even catch a whiff of this podcast, I wasn't trying to do anything. I just, it's weird for them to like, not be in complete control. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to happen, but
No,
Yeah.
it's definitely
Weird.
interesting from the esports side, and you gotta help everybody in the corporate. Now they're like literally corporate, which is weird to think about.
well, then it's like also see their like financial stuff too. Like
Yeah,
that'd
you'll
be
get financial
super
reports
interesting.
from FaZe every
Yeah.
year now, which is interesting. So that's what really gets fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they were valued at $1 billion, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So
Ridiculous.
I mean, it
crazy.
shows the upside of gaming. I mean, we'll see, man. Hopefully in the future, it's not a bad thing, obviously, when gaming companies are getting that type of like public press for how much money they're worth. So
yeah, more support, the better.
Yeah. I agree.
Moving on, League Play officially collabing with the CDL.
Oh,
Call of Duty tweets
thank
out.
Goodness, yes.
At Sledgehammer Games and at Treyarch, look forward to bringing a new level of ranked play support to Vanguard in 2022 in collaboration with CoD League.
Well, yeah, I didn't even mention this, but I mean, the fact that our 100th episode lands on the week of the launch of CoD feels pretty like good timing. I feel like that's pretty fitting.
It's
to
good
get some
vibes.
Vanguard,
CoD.
right? I mean, we get CoD on Friday. How sick is that? And they announced that officially that League Play is coming, or a ranked play is coming.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will say, we had a little group CoD chat, and I was
We did.
at first a little unhappy. I was like, of course, it doesn't come out this year. But after I've cooled down, I've cooled down the flames. That is the bash.
The bash flames. Yeah,
I get it. You know, it it would be really hard for like a ranked play at launch with. We all know the GAs, we know the competitive settings, all this stuff. We don't even know that the third competitive game mode yet, really. So
no, we have no idea.
Well,
it really could be a cluster. So I get it. I was hoping for some sort of like maybe like pre-ranked like playlist, like, hey, this 4v4.
Yeah.
All
some sort of competitive playlist, just a public competitive playlist.
But to know that like they're like officially collabing and like Treyarch is like helping too, like that's all just great news. So we're clearly trending in an upward motion. So
I mean, overall, because like the quote was basically they didn't like officially confirm like elos, but they said there will be a visible like to be able to see where you are in the league or whatever. I don't have a tweet right
just
in front of me
please
here.
not Green Dragon 6. Please.
I know, right? Like we don't as long as it's not BO4, man. As long as it's some sort of elo based system, but like that's still up for debate still at this point. And like you said, 2022. I mean, to your point though, like yes, I get not having it launch, but like, do we really have to wait till the CDL kicks off to have? Like I'd like to, instead of like, hey, it's here, now play ranked. Like, why not have ranked 2-3 weeks before the launch of the CDL to develop the hype for the CDL, like to develop the hype for the league heading into it, and like launch ranked play
Some sort
like
of
in December,
preseason or something at least.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, if the game comes out on November 5th and the first event's not going to be till like, I don't know, late January, that's 2.5 months. Like that's like 8, 9, 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Like. That's plenty of time to get a ranked play out. So I wish it was in December, but
yeah, and like that also goes into like the whole like talk about like, having like an early event too. Like
yes,
not to keep mentioning Halo. I know this isn't a Halo podcast. I get it. Yeah, but Halo is having an event the week after it launches, which could be considered like crazy, but it is capitalizing on the launch of the game and like. Yep.
It embraces competitive.
That is something that Call of Duty has really struggled with, is trying to keep up that same hype from launch to the first event. And
you know why? Rocket launchers and GAs.
Yeah.
But like the same thing is like if there was an event earlier, it would push the pin. Like we saw it in past CODs, like when there was a December event and there was never a problem having the GAs all locked and loaded and having the competitive rule set by the December event. And that was when COD was even launching maybe a few days later, like November 10th or 12th or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we really wanted it, if we could easily have an event in December. It's just frustrating that we don't. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So truly, Hecz will still have ownership. If I read this right, ownership of the OpTic name during their transfer. It's sort of like similar to what he was doing with NRG, where he kind of like lend NRG the OpTic brand for COD. It's the same thing, but he's doing it with Envy this time.
Well, yeah, basically, this isn't like official news. We probably should have had this like as like a little like pre-header or something, but it was more like there was a lot of talk about this on the Reddit this week. What does this acquisition mean? We haven't got the announcement yet, which, I mean, to be fair, the announcement could happen by the time this podcast comes out. Like, it's possible. At this point, it's T-minus any time when this announcement could go live. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like it does feel like that Hecz is still going to have a minority ownership and involvement in COD, but but the majority is going to be with Envy based off of the licensing and trademarks and those types of operational things. So it was like an interesting conversation on Reddit, basically. I don't know, thoughts on that?
Still Hex's OpTic. I think this is more of a positive sign rather than like, oh, Envy now owns OpTic and Hecz is just there to help out or, you know, be a consultant or whatever.
That's fair.
It's nice. It's like he's still sort of the front runner of that brand.
Is it a sign that like debating? Is it like a sign that he's not good with? Not Hecz is not good, but like that OpTic has been struggling with money, or that like or is this more of like a strategic move to not have to worry about the money?
It dates back.
It just seems
to
strange.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of situations that date back to the Infinite Esports sell in 2017. But, you know, based off this, again, Hecz owns all the IPs to OpTic Gaming. But now basically what's happening is that he's now, instead of licensing out the name of OpTic to NRG, he'll be licensing out the name of OpTic to Envy. And then they're going to be merging, and OpTic will be doing a lot of the content for it still, and still operating as its own OpTic Gaming brand, with the potential to expand in the future as its own esports organization, which I think was a big part of the separation between him and Andy with NRG, was that Hecz wanted to do more operations of his own with OpTic. And I'm not sure if NRG was down with that.
Gotcha.
I would imagine they were hoping that he would hop on board with NRG, you know, and like really dive in with NRG. But
me too. I mean, they used to have this other podcast with what's his name? Andy.
With Andy.
And he's like the boss of NRG, and Hecz used to do this podcast, and it was pretty good. But then it just randomly stopped, and then
and that was when all the drama came out. Yeah. So we'll see. I think there's still a lot of potential there with OpTic and Envy. I mean, again, we were literally talking about a little bit before, like how Envy's made a lot of the right moves lately, like with picking up the Bo3 sisters and kind of positioning themselves in multiple esports and balancing the content pretty well with Envy and still with Dallas Empire. I think they've done a pretty good job, all things considered, with how many different esports they're juggling right now. And so it'll be interesting to see how it works with OpTic.
And I guess like to go back to about like, was OpTic doing bad or not? I don't think that OpTic was doing bad. I just feel like their whole focus is only CoD, whereas these other brands are trying to be juggernauts in like all the esports, right? All the big ones. I mean, it seems like Hecz and OpTic are they're just like, we only just want to do CoD. So it's probably hard to like justify running their own little thing just to only do CoD and not try and expand. So it's like, well, let's give out our name to Envy, and we can still do our CoD stuff
and focus on content and things along those lines. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it kind of matures over the next few years too.
The United States Air Force is back as a sponsor for the CoD League.
Supposedly,
rumored.
Looks like because
insurance, USAA insurance.
Because CoD Gamepedia tweeted it that they're back on the website as a sponsor at the bottom of the website now. So, I mean, good sign, right?
Yeah, good sign. They're back after like the whole Activision backlash, that whole lawsuit. Looks like they decided to come back. Yeah,
I mean, it can't be really a bad sign, right? Like,
no, I haven't even like heard like much from that lawsuit
I haven't either.
Recently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Activision isn't sharing all that.
Yeah, I know they're trying to keep that closet hidden, keep that door closed.
In other news, big news: NYSL has signed DREAL. He's an ex-CoD pro, but he's signed on. Is it DREAL?
Yes, sir.
Either way, he's from Europe. He's going to be a performance coach.
Yes.
For NYSL. Do we have any guesses what that means? How that differs from an analyst or a head coach?
It sounds like, I mean, like based how they framed it, like with the whole video of the announcement kind of being like, he's Hydra's dad. Like this feels like a complete move just to help Hydra mesh with Crim and Clay.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we know if he speaks French or like, is it just like have somebody?
As far as I know, he helped him learn English, but I don't know if that means he speaks French. I don't know. I mean, but he was a big part of why he learned English.
That's insane that like the amount of like investment that they're like putting into this team. It's unreal, which is pretty cool.
They continue to grow the competitive family, right? That's kind of the conversation we've had before. about we really like how teams have been building those competitive families, and so I think this is good to see.
For sure. And like you're establishing yourself as a brand that really cares. And then not only that, but like pros are going to want to come to your brand too. Like obviously you could say some players are at the end of the day are probably going to be, mostly about the money, and not most about the money, but like, probably where they can take care of themselves the best.
Yeah.
But like New York doing this, just like, I think it just shows that
the structure's nice.
Yes.
Yeah. That they truly care, and that there's going to be this, like a bunch of coaches there. There's going to be, people there for content and people there to like help you grow as a content creator. So it's just, I don't know. It's good looks for the league, and I applaud them for it.
Well, on the flank, no for shout outs, but on the flank, Krim mentioned that he, like with Revan, he was like the second that Krim committed and signed, he like got this, he said this like novel from Revan with their whole schedule for the next like 4 months. And he's like, I was mind blown. I was like, I've never had a coach send me the whole schedule before, like having like that type of structure. And I'm like, he was like, it's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it. And so nice. I think it all kind of matters.
Gotta love what they're doing over there. But something we don't love, drama, a name, thrown around in the challenger scene for a while, is officially done competing in Call of Duty. He posted a twit longer. He will be taking his talents to Warzone and trying to do content creation instead now.
Yeah, he's been in the AM scene for a long time. Kind of like he's been known because he's played with a lot of the guys who have made it to the league throughout this time. But I'd probably go back and figure out what his top policing was. But yeah, he's been in the AM scene since like Bo3. He even played in some AW tournaments online.
I do want to shout out this Reddit comment because I thought this was hilarious.
Okay.
What one of the top comments for this post was, I was one of the few people who were there at CWL Atlanta when his team Goes to Blue beat C9 and Assault pushed him. Assault started drama by assaulting drama.
Very nice. Very nice.
Genius comment.
There you go.
That comes from Craddock. So props to you.
Oh yeah, Craddock. They got top 12 at CWL Atlanta in IW.
Assault started drama by assaulting drama.
Oh, that was the Priesthood team. Yeah.
That's amazing. Anyway, sorry.
So our boy Trey Boy Cardi, or otherwise known as Zero, just got word from the man himself that DylanCoD is back.
Wow.
Love it. Let's go.
That's all
back, baby.
He's been silent. There's been nothing.
Yeah, so he like deleted all of his social, or deactivated like all his socials, and so he's been kind of MIA.
Yeah. Then what is it? He is back mean? Was he signed? Is he a sub?
Is he just playing
challengers?
I'd imagine that means he's playing challengers, right?
Probably.
Unless you want to run it back with London, but
seems unlikely.
I would imagine not.
Yeah. Assault has a team for challengers. Looks like he wasn't picked up for a pro team. He will be playing with Exceed, Pentagram, and Vickle.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of these challengers teams form, and I guess we just mentioned Parasite's team now, but so yeah, Parasite's got a squad too.
What's a squad?
Oh, it's
Parasite.
He just announced it today,
Royalty.
And it's a pretty nice team. Yeah. So it's Parasite, DylanCoD, Royalty, and Exotic. You kind of got the duo of Exotic and Royalty, which we've seen for a long time be pretty freaking successful. And then you bring back DC, DylanCoD, and Parasite. That's a pretty fun team, man.
Yeah.
I think that could be nasty.
Yeah, I think it could be too. I'm always excited to watch Parasite and challengers. I'm excited to watch those streams again, see how well he does this year. Hopefully he gets picked up at some point. Even the rest of those guys too. They've been around so long and they're so successful.
I do hope Parasite's able to like stay with the team too for longer than a couple weeks. I just feel like it's interesting because like he's like has like one of the top placings in the challenger scene, but like he also has average, like the most team changes. I feel like
right.
And I don't even think that's his fault either anymore. Well, it's not like he's like this like toxic player. I think it's just the way it's kind of worked out.
For sure. Well, it'll be interesting because like basically when Royalty and Exotic have teamed, they've usually stayed together for a while. So like it'll be interesting to see how that plays out heading into the season because that was obviously the Team Canada team. So it was Exotic, Royalty, Dave Patty, and DylanCoD last year for like that basically the last 3-4 months of the year. And so he's replacing Dave on that team. Replacing Dave with Parasite's a pretty. If you're going to replace Dave with someone, Parasite's a pretty nice person to replace him with. So
that's pretty nice.
That team is primed to be at least a top 6 type team in challengers this year.
I think it depends on how Parasite and DylanCoD, like you assume Parasite's going to be main AR.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Diamond
fair.
moves to flex.
Yeah, Diamond
like, how do we feel about that? If he has to run a sub,
I think that's probably the best thing for this team. Like for Parasite to run main AR and then DylanCoD to run the flex.
More than likely, I'd imagine that's what would go down. Yeah,
I say Diamond is a very solid flex.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that team's primed to be solid the whole season. So looking forward to that.
We'll see. Sure. We'll see how long they last, but yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Fellow leaves Dallas. Not really a shocker.
No, definitely not.
He's going to leave at some point. There's some news before about how he accidentally leaked he was dropped, and then
they're like, "No, you're not." And then he's like, "What?" and now he's officially gone because obviously the rumors to Paris. So,
yes.
We'll see.
Hecz posted a tweet that says it's official. And it's the contract thing that everybody posts.
There are so many of these.
What can it mean? What does it mean?
I mean, he's back in some way, right? You don't post that unless you're signing with someone to be back, right?
I really hope he's back.
They wouldn't bait us like that, would they?
No.
I mean, it's been so weird that like
coach,
he's been
right?
like, I hope it's the coach. I hope it's some sort of
management,
like even like an analyst or like something. But like
Washington,
man, dude, it's weird that he hasn't like retired. Because like he's been out of the scene. It's like okay, like he hasn't said anything. Like there's been no retirement. There's been no nothing. So I hope he's back in the scene. I hope he's doing something because he's got a brilliant mind when it comes to Call of Duty. I mean, we know like what he's done with teams, and he's picked up some really good players that have gone on and succeeded.
Yeah,
phenomenally. So
who do you think it is? Is it Washington? Washington DC?
Could be Washington. It could be. I mean, I don't know. Do you think like
an assistant coach somewhere else?
LAG drops in the bag again? I mean, I don't know.
The prodigal son returns.
Yeah, absolutely.
LAG might make sense.
Could you imagine him and Slasher and Gunless all in the same?
Oh,
the
that'd be so good. That'd be so good.
Amazing.
Washington would make the most sense considering they've announced absolutely nothing with that yet, and so at some point that's all got to come out.
Yeah. Money Cheen. Sad news. He's moving on he's retiring from competitive COD. He's moving on to content creation. Specifically, you guessed it, Warzone.
Yeah.
Dude,
wow.
It sucks
Cheen
again,
is a fan favorite.
Warzone is claiming a lot of Call of Duty souls.
A lot of lives. Yeah, dude. I know. It was really sad. His whole video was just like, man, this sucks. Like, I don't want Money Cheen to leave.
He's been right there every year.
Since World War II, yeah. Since TK.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, he's had such a good career, too, for like the last like 4 years, 5 years. I mean, he's always been around. So it's like another guy, one of the nicest dudes in the league who isn't finding a spot or like a sub spot or any involvement with the league is pretty crazy. I mean, I would imagine somebody would pick him up as like a Warzone guy because he's just so well loved in the scene. Like,
yeah,
I feel like a team would be willing to sign that with just such good positive energy.
Do you think there's a chance that like Drama and some of these other people who retired would come out of retirement maybe in the middle of the season?
Maybe if the stream's not working well and they feel like they have a better chance of making more money and enjoying it more inside of Warzone. But I would imagine it's probably because a lot of people know that like, all right, we're going to have Modern Warfare-y like games for at least this year and next year. So it's like, probably if you didn't necessarily love the Modern Warfare-y type games, then it's like, do you really want to compete in this again? Not to mention we're going to have probably, if not no LAN events, not as many LAN events for challengers as you'd like to have this year. And so it's like, then you got to deal with online stuff for another year. So it makes sense that if you're kind of booted down to the challenger scene right now, it's like, you're definitely contemplating things because you're like, oh, goodness.
It's just like, it's not favorable for the pros that have been around for a while and like haven't seen success in a while. It's pretty much, you're just guaranteed to be put down into the challengers pit. And then it's just a question of whether you want to like have that grind. Cause I mean, we've seen it that grind just takes its toll. So it's unfortunate, but I guess that's kind of the direction CoD is moving, is that if you're not like kind of seeing immediate results and you're not this like disgusting, youthful sub, it's a rough, life out there. So
there's no money in challengers for the most part.
I mean, you literally have to be winning everything.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Speaking of other people who are retiring, a big name that people hyped up a lot, Stamino.
Yeah.
People were talking about him getting picked up. I think he was one of the first
last year.
Yeah, and he's retiring.
Yeah, because he was on. I think he was on the Hybrid Black team. Yeah, he was on the Hybrid Black team at launch with Hollow and Mac and Charles and Cells. And then he won quite a few different events throughout the year. They won Cup 4, second in the bounty tournaments, second at Cup 2. So like he had a lot of success throughout the year. He was on the higher team last year as well. And he's been in the scene for a long time as well. Since AW he's been playing. So he's been all around and had a lot of success, but again, kind of always been on that fringe of like pro, top am. And that's just gotta be really frustrating. At some point you have to be like, look at the things and like, same conversation. Do you really want to compete in online CoD again?
I know,
like,
man, but it feels like he was right there. Like his name was tossed around so many times about just how good he was and how he should be picked up.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that it never happened. Unite Gaming is returning to CoD. They're picking up a Vanguard roster for challengers. And the team is PaveyPK, Petrovinator, and P-Dude, and then Zinnia LN.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because it's like Unite was like known back in the day. Like they were like an OG org, like BO2.
Like Ghost. Yeah.
Ghosts. Like, so it's weird having them back in the scene because like, let me look to see when their first event was. It was UMG Chicago in 2012. It was the Push. Was their first event that they ever had somebody at. Nice. And that was Spacely, Slacked, Huddle, and Bobby was their squad in 2012. So it's like, that's pretty wild.
That's cool though. We love to see big names back, and people that have been previously associated with Call of Duty coming back. We love it.
They're best
United looking at you, but hey.
The most money they ever won at a tournament was $12,000 in 2012 at the MLG Winter Championships with Clay, Huddle, Slacked, and Spacely.
Wow.
And they won the PAX Prime Invitational in 2013 with Mbos, Rookie, Nameless, and Parasite.
Yeah. More news, more official. It's official gifts made this time from our own Prestinni. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Always the question.
Substitute, Washington,
and
coach.
Because there's no rumor of him starting right now.
No, see, that's the thing, is like there's nothing to say that he's starting. So is he trying to play in the challengers? I don't know if I see him playing the challengers. I don't know. Do you think he would?
I mean, I could see him getting picked up as a substitute player.
Right, but would he be a sub and then not play in challengers?
I don't know.
I mean, like you've heard a lot of pros talk about like how it's quote unquote risky to play in challengers because of you're better off not playing and maintaining your previous stock versus playing and having the risk of not finishing top 4 and then you're losing stock. Like
I don't know. I mean, is it? I don't think it's content creation because he doesn't do a lot of streaming that I know of.
Yeah, I mean he'll stream and vibe once in a while, but like he's not like the grinder of streamers usually. Yeah. But I bet he could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
It very well could be like a management or like a team manager kind of thing, and just wants to be a part of the scene still. I don't know.
I would imagine he gets picked up as a substitute.
I would love to see him play still. Like I think he has a place in the league. I know.
Yeah.
With his stats, I'm sure aren't like the most glorious stats, but like the dude does what needs to be done. So
for sure. You think like LAG could he stay with Gunless and then kind of go there and then like maybe if things aren't working out with
maybe
Hook
if
or
Asim
something again
out.
or Asim, you can replace him, or you try something different and you go like a quote unquote worst team route and you try your luck re-signing with one of those teams and hope you get the starting spot. I don't know. There's kind of interesting there. So I hope he's on a team though, because I mean obviously Prestinni's a GOAT and
he'd be
he's great.
I mean, he'd be a good starter, but he'd also be like to have a substitute like Prestinni in your back pocket. That would
he's
be
the best
huge.
player that currently doesn't have a roster. I mean, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Insane.
I would say so.
Illey's Barber leaked some intel on Instagram. Says cleaned up my dog at Illey Ender for his new venture. At Dallas Empire, at OpTic Gaming. This is information we pretty much was leaked already, but it's kind of just confirms it even more.
I mean, this has to be like the biggest blunder. Like, that's
hilarious.
Do you think it was like a setup? Like, okay,
maybe it might have been.
Because I mean, that's just so egregious to like do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
without it. I don't know. I saw that. I was like, dude, there's no way this guy did that. But I mean, maybe it just was a happy accident. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair play.
Good
hilarious.
talk.
I mean,
Vanguard
we're gonna
news.
get the whole OpTic stuff this week at some point,
Vanguard news: Ninja is now going to be a perk 1 slot.
It was huge.
Bringing it back. No more footsteps.
No, thank
Good,
goodness.
bad,
Right?
neutral.
I think it's good, but like
it's good.
it being in the perk 1 slot is interesting.
Little weird.
So like you get to choose what ninja, tack, and then
Flak.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to have it's a choice now. I assume they'll probably use it for S&D. Maybe like 1 or 2 people will use ninja and respawns.
I mean, I think you'll just go with
Or
you'll go with
perk greed or something.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And there's probably going to be some sort of way. I mean, because there could be a meta where you just use all 3, I guess, but I don't know. We'll see. That's going to be a question mark moving forward.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this next one, Josh?
Which one's the next one?
It's about our old pal Sib.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So there was just some clips of Sib that the Reddit was reacting negatively to, and I thought it'd be worth mentioning just because it is something to keep your eye on with Sib and his relationship with accuracy moving forward. Because
he's probably the number 1 rookie
attitude.
I think everyone's looking at too.
For sure. Well, I mean, there were some interesting comments. Some were like, dude, I love Sib. I want him to succeed because the CDL needs some polarizing people to be good, like really good. Because right now, everyone who's good in the scene, I mean, for the most part, is buddies. Like you could say
they're too
Crim.
nice.
You could say Crim isn't, but like he's just trolling like all the time anyway. So it's like, I don't know, it's tough. So I'd be interested to see Sib kind of come in and be absolutely nasty, but then be the villain. And it'd be interesting. It'd be fun. I would like to see it. I'd like to see something like that, but we'll see. It was definitely some things where like he replied to different people on Twitter and he had some clips of him talking about the negativity. And it was just like, I could see why people would have a problem with it. And then there's just some of the top comments on Reddit were like, him and Lamar are going to be throwing hands by the end of the season, 100%. And so it'll be interesting to see.
One of the matchups I'm most excited about is Dashy versus Sib.
And to see what happens.
Just to see, they're both AR heavier players or prefers AR. And I don't know. I just feel like they could have a really cool collision.
I agree. I think it could be fun. So I'm down to see Sib absolutely dominate and see what happens because that'd be a good experiment.
It'll be like the Batman and the Joker or something.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know. I just see the rivalry. It's right there. It just makes sense.
I agree.
OpTic wanted Cammy per the flank.
Yeah. So this was just like one thing. It wasn't a big thing, but OpTic had explored trying to get Cammy at times. And Clay even said that he talked to Cammy about leaving Toronto, but they said that Cammy kind of screwed up because he re-signed mid-season. And then they started dominating and he was insane. And then champs, and they finished top 2. And so he probably missed out on some money because of re-signing mid-season. Yeah. And Clay even told him, like, bro, I want to team with you, but you should not leave Toronto. Like, you guys are the perfect core 4. Like, you can't leave each other.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that was pretty cool.
Oh, man. Cammy with Clay would be...
Get you hot and bothered.
Yeah. And then you want to talk about this next one?
Oh, the last thing was just the players union conversation. So basically, Clay cleared up what happened on the players union on the flank. He just said that there was a lot of interest in it, but then they talked to the lawyership group that would have helped them with it, the legal side of the players union, and the legal fees of paying for players unions, the collective fees of like each play. Because if you're a part of the players union, you have to pay a players union fee. And that immediately shut down the conversation.
Immediately.
So, basically, no one replied to the emails after that, after they got numbers about the fees for it. So
that's rough.
Expect no players union soon.
I mean, that's just hard to like get like 48 players on board, you know, like it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also massive like salary differences too, I'm sure, where it's like, whatever the price is easier for someone like Clay than it is for, you know, somebody on making less.
And like the smaller players feel like they're helpless, but then the bigger players have all the control. So it's like a guy like Scump, he doesn't really need a players union. Like he's Scump, like he has all his own leverage. So I can see it being tough to get all the players in the players union. And then if you don't have all the players in the players union, like you need them all.
Yeah.
So that gets tough, but that is it for the news, boys. There you are. So with that said, I think we can get into the segment, which is, of course, I mean, there's only one segment that matters here. And this is the lore that is the hottest operators. If you guys are familiar with this podcast, you know the lore of the hottest operators, and we'll explain it here after the drop. But let's talk about how hot this is going to be. Let's flame it.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Yes, sir, baby. Hottest operators are back. So the lore of hottest operators is Rex unbuttons a button on his shirt. The lore of hottest operators dates back to the early days of the podcast, where we basically made a joke like, man, we have some dead air. We need to figure out what we're going to do. And Rex was like, hottest operators. And then suddenly out of nowhere, then became the momentum that was hottest operators. And lo and behold, we ranked all the operators in Modern Warfare. I'm sure you can go find that video of us ranking all the operators. And so it's only fitting that before the week of Vanguard, we rank all the hottest operators of the previous game in Modern or in Black Ops Cold War. So how this works is that Rex already ranked. There is a tier list. And Rex, you want to read off the names of the tiers?
All right. So at the top tier, the S tier, the greatest, they are the burning beacon of attraction. Irresistible. And the second tier, the A tier, I'm sweating.
Oh my word, that's not first.
They physically make the room hot just by being there.
Of course.
The third tier, Phoenix in July. It's hot, little dry, but still hot.
Oh, of course.
And then after that, we got hot, and then, not it.
Yeah, okay. So like, how this goes?
Not it.
So how it goes down basically is Sam and I have to guess where Rex ranked operators, and our goal is to guess operators that are the highest on the list. All right. So we'll get 3 points for guessing a player who's in the highest of tiers, the beacons. Then we'll get 2 points for guessing players that make Rex a little sweaty. Then we'll get 1 point for guessing players who are they're hot, or for operators who are hot. And then we'll lose a point if we guess an operator who's below those tiers. All right. Okay. So Sam and I are competing to win the game that is hottest operators. And we'll go from there. So Sam, I'll give you the honors. We got
Can
the
I just
list.
get a bite lip from everybody? The only way to initiate this game is by a sex there.
In honor of formal.
New header right there.
In honor of formal. We got our whole selection of operators here. So Sam, you can kick this thing off and try to identify the hottest of operators. And last year there were some surprises. I do remember being caught off guard
because there's so many things that go into your level of attractiveness.
That's the thing. There with Rex, you have to take everything into account.
You have to take it all into account. Yeah. So Sam, with that in mind, where are you at with a beacon of attraction? Who do you identify as the top tier that Rex might select?
Take into consideration personality, the way they look, their fashion sense and style.
We have to get in the mind of Rex Shady Nero.
What are they exuding? What are they putting out to the world?
So right away, I've got something that pops in my head.
Okay.
And this one I think hits all the marks here. So let me draw your attention to Arthur Kingsley. Right away.
Arthur Kingsley, yes. We have a picture, I'm sure.
Yep. We're showing
right
it right
away.
now.
What do you have to say about Arthur?
The name pops off. I'm scanning this page. Arthur Kingsley.
Yeah, royalty.
Don't you dare not tell me that just pops up.
Oh, yeah.
Across Arthur's chest is a strap of 5 pouches. Now, let me tell you something. That is just preparation at its finest. And to me, when you're prepared, that is hot.
It matches with the beret.
It matches with the beret.
I'm glad you brought that up, Josh. I'm glad you brought that up. Because
which was going to be my next point was he's wearing a beret. And so you have a strap of 5 red pouches that matches your red beret. And you know what, too? His facial expression, he's not just looking dead center of the eye. He's got a little bit of a he's got a little bit of like a frown smirk, kind of like
some sass.
Got some sass. He's got some black gloves. He's got some great trigger control. His finger is not in the trigger. All of these things,
very safe, very proper gun control.
I think Arthur Kingsley is going to be in the top,
the beacons,
the beacon tier.
Josh,
tell me I'm wrong.
No, so Sam gets a guess first. This is Sam's guess.
Well, Sam, you got Phoenix in July. Third tier.
He was point on the board.
A top tier. But you made some very valid points. Everything you highlighted with the matching of the colors with the beret and his ammo pouch, his sass, what he's exuding. It's a Phoenix in July. It's not the hottest of all time, but
okay.
I'm disappointed, man. I truly thought Arthur Kingsley had the top.
The name, that's something I didn't even consider, but you're right. Arthur Kingsley's name, it's very like this is a guy I just inherently respect and trust.
Yeah. Well,
but he might have a little bit of an ego. Seems a little, too much money than maybe he should have.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there's one that jumps off the page here, and I feel like it might be a layup, but this man's he's not only a standard in gaming, he's a standard in cinema.
Oh, geez.
And this man, he has no shirt on. He's yoked. This dude comes in and he shoots up the place. He takes control. He's gorgeous. Rambo is a beacon of attraction.
I feel like this is too simple for Rex.
No, Rambo is definitely a burning beacon of attraction.
Yes, sir,
do not let the fact that it's a famous name or person dissuade you from letting them be the burning beacon of attraction.
Yes, sir.
One thing I really want to highlight about this operator is his haircut. With the red ribbon flowing through it, shirtless with the hair and a little choker of a necklace. It just exudes confidence. It exudes a certain sexual essence that you can appreciate.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Boom. I'm on the board. 3 points, Sam.
Rex, I feel like that was
too mainstream.
Too mainstream.
I mean, all right, Sam. We'll fire away.
I never
Where you
claimed
at?
to be a hipster.
So, are we contemplating both NATO and Warsaw?
Oh, of course.
All right.
So 1 point for Sam, 3 for Josh.
Okay, so I have learned my lesson. Going back last year and now this year, Rex, I think sometimes it's not always about seeing their face. And there are certain masked characters that Rex does find as a burning beacon of desire. I do want to draw your attention to Naga. This guy, he is a masked man. He has a very, very unique mask.
He looks like he could be in Squid Game.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that dragon mask going. And I think he's got a crown of bullets.
Wait, this thing is actually crazy. Yeah, wait a second.
Don't tell me that a crown of bullets on top of a dragon mask does not get your heart fluttering with desire. You even have the golden jacket that is not buttoned. You are seeing chest. And if you liked Rambo, this is Rambo vibes without mainstream. This is Naga. This is necklace. This is, I think he's got a chest. No, I think
looks like some of an emerald as well.
Yeah.
He has
it's
a
got the
choker
emerald.
like Rambo. It's a little bit bigger though.
Yeah, that jacket just screams vibes. He's got the mask, the crowd bullets. Man, this is such a burning beacon of hotness. Naga, show me the board, Rex.
Well, I'll tell you, I am sweating when you bring up Naga. He is in a second tier hottest operators. I like how you mentioned the bullet crown again. A sense of edginess, sense of something like, who is this guy? What is he up to? Why does he have bullets for a crown? It can't be very accessible. And then also the mask. I feel like the mask is really something to be highlight with this operator. There's a sort of like weird droopiness, I feel like, involved with it.
Yeah.
But that's almost what makes it better. You're not quite sure what you're looking at. It's that sense of that essence of mystery that really puts him in that I'm sweating category. Never mind the open shirt with the choker necklace. That's hot as well. But it's really the mask and the bullet crowns that sell this operator.
Okay. All right.
I'm disappointed, man.
You got an I'm sweating.
There's a few different options here. I feel like I go some of the obvious ones, but I want to take my shot at the wild cards first, because I think those are the ones that I think Sam could find the tough points on me, but I think I can steal some right here. And and when I take this lead, let's just say Sam, he might get a little scared. He might even scream because Ghostface is a beacon. This man, he scares you, he gets you going, and Rex is all in on Ghostface.
Ghostface, one of the newer operators to the scene. He is undoubtedly a burning beacon of attraction.
Yes.
Bro. I mean, imagine this, Sam. You see Ghostface come across you on the battlefield, and you don't think of yourself him coming at you. Think of yourself as a mere spectator. Like you're watching the Squid Games as one of these billionaires. You're gonna think, wow, this guy's got some gusto. He's got some chutzpah about him. And he's definitely playing to win. The mystery that he provides, the all black cloak. It's not enough good things that I can say about Ghostface. Burning beacon of attraction.
Yourself, you weren't a fan of slashers.
Oh man, that's so good.
You don't like those movies.
Well, I didn't say it. I mean,
but
it doesn't matter. It's not about the movies. I'm looking pure. Like you think I'm all about this movie vendetta. I'm not.
I'm not
clearly
saying that.
how hot they are.
I feel like
Sam,
you would enjoy
the reason
the
you're not
movies.
successful in this game is because you're not taking into account the personality it's exuding. So I'm sick of the complaints.
The confidence.
This is what happens.
Right.
Ghostface is a burning beacon of attraction.
He is. It was obvious. It's obvious, Sam. Come on. Sam, what's your next guest?
Do we know how many is in the top tier? Like, have already lost?
No. 6 in the top tier.
No.
Okay. Gosh, dang it.
You're not that far behind. You're actually 3 points behind.
You have tons of time, dude.
I'm literally I'm trying to put myself in the mind of Rex, which
it's 6 to 3
It's
right
hard to do. It's hard to do.
I mean, there is one character who is I think that great, but I'm not gonna say.
Okay, well, interesting. Fire away, Sam. Who you got?
Okay. All right. Let's reset.
Yeah.
The easy ones I feel like are off the board now. So
Yeah.
The easy ones. All right. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. Here's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Here is where I'm going to go. Okay.
Where are you gonna go?
Okay. Now, I think I'm going to try to point this in a way.
Okay.
I think Hecz, he respects toughness. I feel like he respects
Confidence.
passion more than anything.
Yeah.
And I think even if someone to the naked eye might see like, this guy might not be like, you see him and like, maybe it's not like attractive right away. I think you get past his scars.
yes, you're getting into the essence.
Stitch, my man Stitch.
Okay.
This guy, he's been through a lot. He's been through hell and back. Look at his face, his eyes,
The chains.
His face is scarred up. He's got a chain around his neck. He's got what looks like to be like a muzzle around his face. Maybe his mouth is messed up. Maybe it's a Bane situation. We don't know.
It could be.
But when you look at Stitch, not only are you seeing this guy that will do anything for his squad, you see a guy that is physically tough. You see a guy that is mentally there.
Okay.
He's there. He's not just there and not present. He is present both physically and mentally. And to me, that just exudes hotness. And Hecz, I think Stitch is in your beacon of burningness.
Well, let me tell you this. Stitch also, he seems untrustworthy. I wouldn't trust him on the battlefield. It seems like he's trying too hard to be something that maybe he's not. Like it seems like he's just decking himself out to the nines with all this variety of things that who knows how those things, if they even work together in a proper sense.
You think he's hiding something? You think there's some insecurities?
I think so. Like, I mean, he's hiding the mask with the face. It's like, why are you so egregious about this mask that you're wearing with it just layered on with all this other stuff? I gave him a hot. So it's 4th tier, 0 points there, Sam.
That's a -1, actually.
It's a -1.
That's a -1.
But there's too much and it's trying too hard. Just not that high.
That's fine. Well, okay. Well, I think there's still some very interesting options here. Sam, I thought you were going to go with one that I feel like it's like definitely just a safe pick, but like one that's gonna
you don't
she's
win
gonna
this
be
game.
on there.
You don't win this game with safe picks, and you don't win this game with Hecz with safe picks. But so far it hasn't worked. So maybe.
Well, I went Ghostface. I wouldn't have called that a safe pick.
The way you win is with
worked
smart picks.
Exactly. That's right. And so with that said,
Who's actually hot? That's how you win.
With that said, there's one that I think just has to be up there, and that's Rivas. She's got to be up there. I mean, that's at least tier 2. That could be Beacon right there.
Rivas, I'm not sure, but definitely in the I'm sweating category.
Okay, there you go. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I haven't quite picked out what her ethnicity is, whether it's Latina or maybe like Native American.
Yeah.
But either way, hot. Like just the amount, got the headband, she's got the headset,
the confidence still.
Seems like a very good communicator, which I find very attractive.
Are those grenades? Or are those like 50 cal? Those are like grenades, I think.
It looks like stun grenades or flash grenades.
Yep.
And I trust her. And she's got the knife. She's ready to go at all times. Definitely I'm sweating.
Yeah, so that's
she got the tattoos.
I'm sweating. That's 2 points. On the board, baby. Things you love to see. Rocking and rolling. Sam, you got to get some points here. How you doing? What are your thoughts? Where are you at? Which ones are you thinking for? There's still 4 of the S tier players out there to get. So there's a lot of points on the board here.
I hear you, but like when you're in my position, like confidence is lost. I have been broken.
Hey, you got Arthur Kingsley.
Yeah, man, that was a good. I wouldn't have got that one.
And Naga.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten a tier 1 yet. I haven't gotten anything.
Well, you're about to. So you got to go into this with some confidence here.
Okay,
Tier 1's got some goodies.
I think we also probably need to speed up a little bit, or else we'll never get
Sam,
to Q&A.
let me give you some help. Just look at them and pick the hottest one.
Thanks, Rex. Appreciate your help. All right, here we go. Here's one that I feel like it's got to be up there, man. I feel like it. All right. Not only do we have physical appearance, we have character, we have passion. Kitsune.
Ooh.
Oh.
What do you have to say?
We have an eye patch, first of all. And not only did we have an eye patch, we have an eye patch that has an eye patch has four straps. When have you ever seen an eye patch with 4 straps?
That is intimidating.
That's intimidating. That means that like not only like 2 straps can't hold it.
What's the design on the eye patch?
There must be something so messed up with her eye that 2 straps can't even hold it. You have a great
It's just falling out. Like what?
You have a great bun. A bun that also has like a part on both sides.
That is a very creative hairstyle.
It's got that feathery thing, looking hair thing.
Like you're able to hold that in battle. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you've got what looks like
Rex
to be
is
like
getting steamy over there.
There looks to be a calculator on her chest, so you know she can do some quick maths.
Important attribute for Sam.
Yeah.
I mean, intelligence is a very important attribute.
So I think Kitsune there.
Well, Sam, today is your day. You looked at the board.
No.
She is definitely a burning beacon of attraction.
Yes.
I mean, just take a look at her. You mentioned the eye patch, the 4-string eye patch, which in some minds may seem excessive, but what I see is fashion. It's fashionable, and it's practical when you're in the midst of war.
It is.
I love her hairstyle, the way she looks. Just she has the calculator, it has the intelligence.
Yeah.
She seems like the type of woman who like does kickboxing and like super good at it. And like one time, like I like held the bag for her and it like knocked me back, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm turned on. That's Kitsune.
Are we gonna get canceled here, guys? Like what?
Oh no, that's some good stuff. So I mean, you've been leaving some characters here that I just feel like they got grit. They got a lot going for them. They tell a story just with their look alone. You know, like there's a lot going here. And not only does he tell the story, but I mean, like he's lived a great life, but he's also died hard. And that is John McClane. Look at the white wife beater, the blood on his chest. You kind of see him. He's yoked. He's got the hair. He's confident, but yet assertive. This man's got it all.
If you
and
put
he's
2
ready to
guys up there,
kill.
Josh, I couldn't have really said it better myself. John McClane, 110%, a burning beacon of attraction.
Fire,
Look at this man. This is your everyday dad who is prepped himself to go to battle. And like, I trust him to win this. I trust him to do the right thing. And not enough good things can be said. The wife beater with a little bit of blood stains there. His hairstyle, he's got like a widow's peak, kind of reminds me of me. And it's just so hot.
I was gonna say I get Rex vibes here, the wife beater and just kind of the confident aura of just like I'm gonna kill.
He's got that long face. It's a classic, John McClane.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself.
I'm just pissed.
Well, Sam, there's still 2 more.
I mean,
S
Sam, you
tiers
picked out
there.
my favorite, which was Kitsune. So
yeah, there you go. So
I
all
mean,
right, Sam, you're on the board.
I mean, if we're just going with like, you know, mainstream layups, then if you don't have Captain Price 84 up there, then I don't even know what to say, because not only is he everything that John McClane is and more, he's been in 2 Modern Warfare universes now.
wow.
He's been in the first
Rex isn't looking
4,
too good
and he's
over
been
here.
in 2019.
He's been in 2 Modern Warfare universes. Wow, he's hotter now. Sam, look at the
What is your
board.
problem?
Look at the board.
Yeah, I'm looking at the effing board.
So, Rex, where do you have him?
Captain Price, hot.
That's
a 4th tier. It's just so
Sam.
played out. Like, is he living in the 80s still? Like, what's going on with the facial hair? Like, it's basic. It's just basic.
Rambo and John McClane is basic. Don't say
Rambo
basic.
is shirtless. In what universe is being shirtless in the midst of
That's
war
fire.
basic?
Well, that's a -1 there for old Bash. Things you truly hate to see. And I feel like I've got the next one. I've had the next one locked down here. This is a man who asserts the ultimate confidence. This man is intimidating. He's also not only intimidating, but he's confident. He's even a little stealthy. He blends in with the environment because he's got the whole like sniper vibe going on here. And he's got the name of just a beast, and that's Wolf. Wolf is a unit. This man's gotta be at least in the top 2 tiers. Look at him. His just like intimidating face with the really, really good facial hair and the impressive like jacket he's got going on. This man's absolutely up there.
100%. I'm sweating when I think of Wolf.
All
Second
right. I'll
tier.
take the 2 points.
Like you said, like he's a stylish professional. He's well groomed, well kept. And just, in the garb that he's wearing, the weird sweater with the, I don't know, fishnets on the arms. And something in the middle of his chest. He's bare chested. It's hot. It's just hot.
I agree. Amari just said Bash needs a sub.
I'm so over
Sam,
it.
how you doing? All right, where you at, Sam? You still, you get back-to-back beacons here. You're right back in this thing.
There is one that I usually say is like one of my, I actually played this person when I played Cold War.
Oh, no. I actually don't know then.
I'm just gonna Hail Mary this. He was one of the original operators, and I did choose him off the bat. He does have a pretty nice accent. He is dressed nicely. He's got the turtleneck going on. He's got that nice leather jacket. My man Beck, he's got some sunglasses on.
That's got to be up there.
Yes, Beck is an I'm sweating category. Okay. Like the things you said, he's English. He's got the cool shades, the turtleneck. He's a stylish, fashionable man, and you got to respect it. You got to respect a man with some drip.
Well, with that said, I'm going to go with. There's a few really like high-end intimidating people. I'm going to go with Baker. Baker's just got really nice hair. He's got a collar on. He's rocking and rolling a nice vest. I think Baker is a high quality pick deserving of that top 2 tiers.
Yeah, Baker's not it.
No.
There's nothing too hot about just a basic looking blonde man. He probably does something with stocks and stuff, but
I thought he was like safe pick.
Yeah, he's a not it. I don't know, he just doesn't there's just nothing to ride home about with any of what he's doing.
That's fair. I guess he was maybe a little bit too boring compared to some of the other people on the board. All right, Sam, it's your pick. What do you got? You're down right now, 12-6. So you need to really find one of these beacons right here. There's 2 beacons left.
Yeah.
So, and I think we probably need to get moving towards the Q&A here. So let's give each of us 3 or 2 more guesses.
Two. Yeah.
So we'll see. 2 more guesses, maybe.
This guy, he gives me Burning Beacon vibes because he reminds me of a certain actor that I think is pretty funny. And the actor is escaping my mind, honestly. Whatever his name is. He's got the night vision goggles on, got the long blonde hair.
You're talking about Bradley Cooper?
No, do you want to talk about
Fuse?
He's a Kristen Bell's husband.
Fuse.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Shepard? Something Shepard?
Yes, Dak Shepard.
Dak Shepard.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. So he's got the night vision goggles. He's got the bomb vest.
Yeah, he's the bomb guy.
He's ready for action. So not only is he a very physically attractive, man, he is also prepared for the worst. He's prepared for a bomb. And I don't know, that kind of confidence just screams Burning Beacon to me. So
yeah. He is a Phoenix in July.
Okay. That's a point on the board.
That's on the board. That's the 3rd tier down. Yeah, it really comes down, I think, to his face. There's something about it that it just warrants a lot of trust. It feels like he's a very empathetic man. And just the attire he's wearing, like I would trust my life with this man. So yes,
That's fair wear.
Fuse
That's fair.
makes
But he's
it.
not
He's
hot enough
Phoenix
for
in
you, huh?
July. Phoenix in July.
You just hate on him. That's okay.
That's a fair play. All right, so I'm gonna go with someone who I think is just kind of the glare into the distance mixed with the sunglasses that really brings it together for me, and that's Song. The bandana, the glasses, the headset, it's all kind of working together here to create something that I think just works, and that's got to be something that's up there in the top 3.
Well, Song's hot, but
No,
I don't know. It
Phoenix?
feels like she has a lot of good qualities, but it's underneath everything. She's got the big sunglasses, she's got the giant
Okay.
headset, the big headband. Like I don't
headband.
even know, like what her
You're not getting
hair
enough
looks
here?
like. It's just, it's very vague, but there's no mystery aspect to it either.
Okay. All right. That's
It's
fair.
standard, nothing bad, nothing
Dang,
great.
losing a point though,
Go
that's
with hot.
tough. That hurts. Well, okay, we both have one guess here. So
Mhm.
if you get the beacon of hope and I guess wrong, we have to go to a sudden death tiebreaker. So
Okay.
if you get the beacon of hope here, game's on. If not, game's over.
Should I give a
All
hint?
right.
No hints. No hints. No hints. No.
All right.
Sam,
You know,
this is
I-
the guess. You got to lay it on
I-
the line here.
I think this one might also be kind of like could be obvious. I think maybe the public opinion might have this person in a beacon. My girl Helen Park, I think she is very stylish. You know, she's wearing the beanie. She's got the nice brunette hair, the leather jacket,
Just
and
good
she's
vibes.
and a very confident woman. I think. Ready to
Rex
go.
isn't giving
and-
much here.
I know. I'm kind of putting it all out there. She's an OG operator. She was there from the beginning. Rex, let me have it.
You don't think she looks a little basic to you? Because let me tell you, she is not basic. She is a burning beacon of attraction.
No.
Yes.
No
yes. I
way.
believe she is one of, if not the only operator that is wearing a
No.
beanie. She's got the
Yeah.
cool brown leather jacket. Very trustworthy
I
looking
didn't
face.
think I
And she was able
fooled.
to even style her hair underneath the beanie. So even the hair was an accent piece to her whole
Yes.
attire. Nothing but good things to say about Helen Park. This was also the character that I pretty much only played in Cold War. Burning Beacon of
I didn't
Attraction,
realize
Helen
that.
Park.
No way. What in the world? I didn't
100%.
even
She's
know that.
super Dr. Helen Park. Let's not, remove that from her name.
She's a doctor, huh?
Yeah,
Doctor?
super intelligent. She was helping with the zombie infestation and the science
Oh,
behind
man.
that. She played a huge role in that.
That'll do it.
Big things. Love Helen Park. Burning Beacon of Attraction.
All right. Well, this got interesting suddenly. It's now 11-10. If I get this, if this person's not in the top 3, we're in a sudden death tiebreaker, Sam. All right, here we go. I think this is a safe one, but also one that this was my next pick regardless of what happened there. And that's Maxis. Maxis has got kind of the rogue hair, the goggles, everything going on there. I like the red bandana. Everything's going on with Maxis. Great pick right there, baby. Maxis is giving me the dub.
Maxis. Phoenix in July.
Yes, sir, baby.
Phoenix
Yes,
in
sir.
July. I like
Yes.
what she has going here. It seems like it gets a little cluttered near this neck, upper torso area.
Yep.
Her hair is a little jumbled up.
There's dope.
But there's a certain je ne sais quoi about
Yes.
Maxis that you
Yes.
can appreciate. So that's what gets her to Phoenix in
That's
July.
right. That's right. And with that, I win by a whole 1 point or 2 points. Let's freaking go, baby. Hype is real. But
Congrats.
The
Sam,
last person in Burning Beacon of Attraction was
Oh, yeah, wait.
Hudson. Hudson. was the last man in Burning Beacon of Attraction. He is rocking the shiny bald head. He's even gone so far as to use war paint to cover his whole face. He's got the big shades. He's got an aura of mystery, but there's still a sense of trust that you have with this mystery figure. And that's what makes Hudson so attractive.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's also an OG Black Ops character.
I knew there had to be some sort of aviators character in there. I was going for some of the aviator ones, but dang, I didn't dial in on Hudson.
Sometimes aviators can be too try hard, but Hudson pulls them off.
Yeah, the bald head really maximizes the aviators.
Yes.
I get you there.
The shine from the head, the shine in the glasses, it just mixes.
I'll take Sam. It was good games. GG's. That was a fun time, and it came out of the wire. So it ended up being a fun time. But with that said, I think we can get into our Q&A here and talk to the people a little bit. So without further ado, let's get into it, baby. Let's go.
Hey, folks, something I've been thinking about. I got a very important question to ask you.
Yes, sir, baby. All right. So we're going to be going through the post. I posted on Twitter on the, at Best of 3 Pod. If you guys aren't following, definitely follow because we'll be doing more of these Q&As in the future as well. But basically, we just have people submit questions and we'll be going through them. There's some spicy COD takes in these. There's some more fun, low-key ones. I think are going to be a good time. So overall, I'm excited for this to say the least. So first question is from Dangled Sniper Jake. And he says, make a team of 4 players who haven't teamed before, which is kind of tough to do considering so many guys have teamed before. But let's just stick it to recently, guys who haven't teamed together in the last handful of years, I would say. Is there a roster of some people that come to mind as someone who you might want to have teamed together?
I'll throw one for fun. Let's do Simp.
And Scump.
Let's do Formal.
Oh.
Let's do
that's actually really interesting.
Well, darn.
Shotzi. I want to see Simp and Shotzi.
I do Shotzi, Formal, and then let's throw Drazah, the greatest flux of all time.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I think you got to have Simp or BZ on one of these teams because it's just too fun otherwise. I'll do, because you already said Simp, I'll do a BZ, Octane, Hydra, and Dashy as my team.
That's pretty nice.
Yes, that's a fun team.
Yeah. Simp, Shotzi takes out a lot of people that I would like.
Well, while you're thinking, I picked Octane because it's we've been waiting to see what Octane can do with the elite SMGs in front of him. So if you put a BZ and Hydra there, you're like, all right, I want to see what Octane can do with these guys in front of him. And that was kind of why I was like, I need Octane on this team.
Simp, Shotzi, Cammy.
Ooh, very fun.
And
who's your AR?
Dashy, I guess.
Okay. All right. That's a fun one. That's a fun one. I like that a lot. Next question is from Hughes H. Hefner, 13 on Twitter. He says, now this is right up our alley here. Standy Attach or Drazah and Kenny as a dynasty SMG duo who's teaming together for the next few years.
I mean, if you're doing SMG duo, Standy Attach.
But I'm kind of in the same boat with that.
That makes sense. But what if you're doing them as a teammate duo?
The teammate duo?
Where you have Drazah and Kenny who could maybe do one or the other,
I wish it was Drazah.
I would still take Standy Attach, but
I wish it was Drazah and not
Envoy.
Kenny. Yeah. Maybe Envoy. If it was Envoy, I'd take Drazah and Envoy for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, having one of those two as the SMG, because we don't really know how either of them are as SMGs, It's the confidence in Drazah comes from that he'll find his best role because he's a flex. Same thing with Kenny, kind of.
Yeah.
So it is tough, but I'd go Standy Attach.
Strictly speaking, SMGs, probably Standy and Attach.
I'd go either way.
Yeah.
But, all right. Next up is from Maggie, CFPS on Twitter. Shout out, Maggie. Want to know more about you guys. Did you guys go to high school together? What state you guys from? How old are you guys? And then he asked if I could talk more about some of the reffing with MLG. So I guess, yes, we went to high school together. So we kind of all knew each other. We went to a K through 12 school. So Rex is one grade above me and Sam. So me and Sam knew each other literally since like kindergarten. And then we knew Rex existed, but we didn't really talk to him till like high school.
Yeah.
But then we all realized we all liked COD, and then it was all downhill from there.
It was.
So that was kind of where it all began. So that was always it, and grinding GBs and stuff and all that. I would say Bo3 was when it really took off, like when we all really started playing a lot together, but we definitely knew each other before that and talked a lot.
Yeah. That was actually what we had. We had like a waiting like line of
huge
like
group of people.
Yeah. We had a huge group of people that like was like all local too, which was
all
like
went to high
really
school
cool.
with us.
And then like a Black Ops 3, we'd have to actually like sit like 4 people out at a time because we just didn't have enough. It was 4v4, so that was fun.
Yeah, we had like a group it was like 10 or 12 people that would almost be on like most nights, and we were playing 8s and stuff every night together, which was a blast.
It was a lot of fun.
But yeah, then we all graduated. We graduated high school in 2015. Rex graduated in 2014.
I'm
and
24.
So we're all so like 24, 25.
I'm 26.
And Rex just turned 26. So we're kind of all in that range. But we're all young at
I was
heart,
old to my grade too.
We're all young at heart. You're all young
we
at
are
heart.
old farts in the Call of Duty world.
And reffing, I mean, basically I got connected with MLG in 2017 because I reached out to them to do a practicum with going to school in Bowling Green. And so long story short, I got connected with them. And then after I did my practicum with them, they asked me to ref. And so then I reffed World War II to the end of MLG, was with, all the way through BO4. And then worked with Esports Engine, and then events got shut down. So I worked challengers with Esports Engine, obviously, because they're not doing pro. And I reffed, amateur stuff. I never did like main stage very often, a little bit at champs, like at World War II and at BO4, but like not much. I was like either feature station or open bracket. But
I will say my favorite, my favorite moment from you reffing was when you were on the screen during the Gears of War. I can't remember the two names, but there was almost a fight that broke out.
And I just
Josh
stood there
in the background.
It's because there was 2 of us reffing on the main stage. It was like one of the, I don't know if it was the grand finals. It was one of the later matches. And they started like, one got up and like literally got in the dude's face across the stage.
It was bad.
And my buddy ref, he got up and like immediately went up there, and I was like, should I stay here? I wasn't really sure if like, oh no. I mean, is this normal with Gears of War? It's my first time working Gears of War. And so I was just like, I don't know, I gotta take care of it. But that's a classic moment right there. But yeah. Next question. PD Gaming asks, what started / what was the inspiration for Rex's intros? Which I guess we kind of already talked about in the pod. But long story short, like I said, it just sort of happened, and then voila, we were there. So
yeah, I mean, I was just trying to look for something different. And so one time I just did it. And then the next time I didn't. But then the time after that, I think I saw some comments or something. So no, I just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, so like, I don't know if like people know, but like you went to school for acting for a little bit, right?
I did. Yes. I went to an action school here in New York. Yeah.
So like, was improv ever like a big thing for you, or?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could go all day about what I learned in acting school, but like the first year was essentially, I think like 2 times a week was essentially improv. You'd kind of like set up
like the idea of a scene, like the fabric of a scene.
Yeah, well, you have things that are called like objectives, emotional prep, and then like kind of like you're doing or action, like, and then there's somebody's in the room, there's somebody who comes and knocks on the door. So like you don't prepare any lines, but you set up a relationship beforehand. So like, oh, this person has this, I need to get it from them, and then you kind of just have to do the scene.
That makes sense.
And you just kind of make it up as you go. So it is improv.
Sense. Yeah, we would definitely want to even do more of that type of fun stuff. We did one segment where we did like Rex like role playing as Hastro, and we were a Hook during that whole like Hook actor thing. That was a really good segment. So I'd like to do more of that type of stuff too, and in the future. But the GOAT, Leighton JC on Twitter asks, for all of you, what's your favorite COD memory of all time? Playing with friends, certain game releases, attending COD events, etc. And then he says, keep trade cut. Boogie of the Kid and Moxide.
I'm not answering that. Someone else can.
Cut the Kid.
I'd
Easy.
keep the kid if he didn't just if he just didn't stay in the
himself.
back and was worthless for half the round, and then he'll only come out of the shadows once we've all died. That was the kid when we play with him. Like, he's pretty good, and he's pretty good in a clutch situation. But man, sometimes he just won't move, and like everything else is happening on the map, and he just doesn't help anybody. That's the one thing.
Yeah. Oh, the kids can be the MVP, you know, but
Yes,
it comes down. It's just the inconsistencies. I'm the kid. I mean, what can you say?
He's a rogue. He's lone wolf.
He goes rogue, and then once in a while he just decides he hates COD, and then he just leaves.
And I hate confrontation, so I'm going to answer the first part. My favorite memory, honestly, was probably COD champs attending World War II. That
same.
was just like, I've never personally experienced like the event myself. Like, I've always watched the events, but then like going to Columbus.
Yeah, all three of us were there.
Oh, it was great. And
it was my first LAN too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, just like seeing like everyone there, and then like just in person talking to people that like had the exact same mindset as you. Like, it's just a different experience. It was just cool to see and a cool experience. And that was probably my
We'll be
favorite
back
one.
at events soon. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's always cool to like be able to talk with other people who like are like who love the same game that you do.
Yeah,
because like, you don't just find them in normal life, but like once you go to like a LAN or something, like everyone there knows how to talk to you about COD and like
you finally feel free. Like, wow, I can actually like speak my mind. Like, I can actually like talk about what
people
my
know what I'm trying to say when I say the name Clayster.
Yeah,
right. Literally,
It's not
that's
weird.
the thing. When like in the champs, like all the pros are all doing like the meet and greets. Even after they're losing, they're doing the meet and greets and stuff. So that's always like really cool too to get the full experience with everybody.
Yeah.
So good question there, Leighton. JD Shake asked, what's the favorite COD meta of all time? That's an interesting question. I personally enjoyed watching the Infinite Warfare, 2 ERADs, K-Bar, and NV4 meta. Interesting. That's a really good question.
cool.
Do you have an answer right off the rip?
I mean, oddly enough, I really liked Black Ops 3, VMP, and the M8. Sometimes you throw in a Vesper when it got its buff, and then it got debuffed.
Oh, the Vesper meta. That was a good time.
That was one
That
thing
was
that got
a good
interesting. We got
time.
a third gun that it's somewhat like does something.
Well, you can almost just answer like BO3 as a whole with the ban protect and having the whole year of like sometimes you have to use the random guns or the Shiva or whatever to like because of ban protect.
Yeah.
I'll always say, per bias,
No.
I love the Bal and I love the ASM one.
Of course.
Great guns.
It was fun though.
It was great. I don't know. I just love the sound of those guns too.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair. I just like BO4. The meta of BO4 with having 3 guns plus the snipers all there with like, I just like the whole game of BO4 a lot. And then having the snipers, obviously with SD and all the insane plays was so much fun to watch. So I would say maybe BO4, just the whole year with the whole all 3 guns.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have one question from Mind of Amari who says, who's your favorite BO3 member other than yourself and why is it me? Shout out Amari, the best producer in the land.
We stand
Things
Amari.
you love to see. We stand Amari. Follow him on Twitter, Mind of Amari. He deserves it.
You deserve
100%. 100 for freaking cent. And I mean, the answer is, the best BO3 member besides myself is myself. But then also, you guys, I'd have to talk to you guys all the time. It's obviously Amari.
Amari.
100%.
It's
Because,
Amari.
well, also, Amari earned his keep by modding the chat like an absolute beast for years for the whole year and a half in the Twitch chat. So,
dude,
you
yeah,
gotta
Amari's
respect
been
that.
here since the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's been grinding. He's been
Like
go.
before the podcast was ever a thing too.
literally.
Oh, yeah. Give the man
Yeah.
a follow.
I remember
Yeah.
when he was like the first. I feel like he was like one of your first like loyal fans, right?
Like just like
He was
viewers
the
you could
one
rely
name
on.
that I always like when you were like more in the earlier stages of your YouTube
Of the
career,
streaming.
or whatever. He was
Especially
there
streaming.
in the comments and stuff, and it's like, who is this guy?
Icy or it's your boy.
Yeah,
Who actually likes Josh?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. But yeah, shout out Amari. And then Desma, of course, the GOAT Desma says, in a perfect world, where do you want the future of the podcast to go? Official CDL pods, org partnerships, joining forces with like Breaking Point or like a different, or be an ESPN of COD? What's the future of the podcast? There was also another question that was kind of similar to that. Like if you were to get picked up by an org, who would you want to be picked up by? So I guess we can kind of pair those together. We haven't like ever like decided like what's the future of the pod. It's kind of been like one step at a time.
About it. I mean, I think about it, sometime. I feel like we've kind of talked about it. It's hard to like give an answer though.
For sure. I mean, like, I guess it's kind of wherever the podcast goes. I know a lot of people mention like guests and that type of stuff, which we've always had like a weird internal debate with having guests on the show often, because it's like, we have like such a good vibe here. And then when you have a guest, it can throw off the vibe. And so it kind of gets tough, even though guests are great.
Yeah, I think it's more like, we don't want to like totally rely on like big name guests. I think it'd be, it's great to establish ourselves as like talking and, trying to have like our own community. But,
for sure.
But then, of course, bring on people whenever we can.
I think the other big factor is also that like we only have one show a week, and so it's like, we have so much news to talk about, and like we want to do like the ranking of players or power rankings this week, and then it's like we have so much to talk about. It's like I don't feel like we've always needed guests to fill airtime. Where like if you do a lot of shows a week, like the Flank, no free shout outs, like if they're doing multiple shows a week, it's a refresher to have guests because you have so many shows.
Yeah, guests can also like derail, like not like can somewhat derail the whole show, depending on
who the guest is, or for sure.
And just because just like that extra voice is going to be an extra time allotted for them to speak or whatever, just kind of like extends everything.
It's also, we already have 3 people versus other shows. Like, again, like the Flank, most people would say the Flank, like there's 2. So then when you have a guest, there's a 3rd, which I think having 4 people can get a little bit wordy sometimes, which is our only time like why we don't have guests all the time. But we do have one guest.
We do.
That is I hold shift, of course.
We have one special guest.
But I don't know. I mean, I think we would definitely be willing to have conversations with like orgs 100%. Or partnerships, or if like there was a pro player who wanted to do some sort of like, hey, like I think we could do this together. Like there's obviously tons of conversations to be had about potential ideas. Whenever that bridge, cross the bridge when we get there type situation, I feel like.
Yeah. I think it's just, at the end of the day, it's just like being able to provide another piece of Call of Duty content that might be either missing from the scene or, might be not readily available, and just, being able to like have a place where we can discuss it and just have a community where we can like talk back and forth too, which is just awesome to see.
Here's the thing too. Like, I mean, we've talked like, we don't want to be like reliant on having pro players here or who all like these guests, all the time. Cause like, at some point that well could dry out, and it's like all of a sudden we're left with no foundation anymore. But that's not to say we don't want guests either.
Yeah, I think our kind of philosophy going into it was that we wanted to establish ourselves as a trio, and then like that's the substance of the podcast, and then we can consider having guests. So I think we're definitely to the point now where we can like definitely consider having guests more often.
Yeah.
But we definitely wanted to hit a little threshold in our head of like consistent viewership before we wanted to have guests on, like as like establishing ourselves first, which is kind of.
I'm always concerned too, because like sometimes we talk about like, I don't know, like edgier topics or something that like maybe these pros are going to want to talk about, or like we also get like, at least me, sometimes I give like pretty unfiltered opinions that
hot takes.
I don't really like, I'm not friends with any of these pro people or anything, so like
nothing,
but like if they're in the room, I'm not going to be like, oh man, they're terrible, like so kind of like having them can like remove some of, I feel like the genuineness of the conversation. That's true.
I think the future of the pod is very interesting, and like if pro teams ever wanted to reach out, we're definitely down to talk, because there's a lot of fun opportunities there.
Heck yeah.
Miles Greenwood asks, who's the best in the game? I mean, Scump said it himself, right?
Clayster?
Everyone, different opinions.
100%. Cody Anderson, I don't know why he wants Bash to get embarrassed like this, but he asked, will you please 1v1 Bash on Halo and then COD? That would be great video for the channel.
I mean,
this is something that is hilarious that Bash wants to get embarrassed that bad. I don't really know why, but he replied immediately wanting some action, apparently.
I'm always available here, Josh.
Just these hands, like, jeez, dude.
Let me know.
Insane.
We'll load up Halo 1 through 5.
A little best of 5 series on Halo.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then load up CODs and then you'll get, know how that goes.
We'll see.
Hefner asks, each of you give a one-word summary of the MW season and the Cold War season, and then now going into Vanguard. Don't repeat words.
Modern Warfare, Rocky.
Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Growth.
Potential. The Cold War.
Mine's growth.
Okay. And then Cold War. LAN. More.
Hope. I would say hope.
Hope.
Rocky and then hope.
Wait, what did I say?
I said hope.
Okay. A little hope action. All right. I love it. And then going into Vanguard. LAN.
Optimistic.
Yeah.
Land.
Dynasties?
Oh.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Rex?
I can't think of any good words. Sam?
Competitive.
I want to say things in more than just one word.
I got
think
words all day.
I mean, this could be the biggest season yet.
That's a lot of dashes in there.
This could be a lot.
Hordes asks, which team do you think is most likely to be a bust this year? Like Florida never living up to expectations in Cold War.
What team could be a bust?
Yeah. I would say Seattle's the most likely to get to that point.
I mean,
but
the rumor
also
Paris.
they could rise.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, Paris, I don't even know. You might have to have expectations.
It's not really a bust when they're last.
Yeah. That's the thing.
True.
Any other answers there?
I think Florida could bust again.
Biggest bust could be the OpTic Dallas.
Oh, Sam's hot takes.
Yeah.
But we are going to be doing a bold predictions episode. So, that's coming in about a month or so. So be on the lookout for that one. But all right, we probably need to start flying through some of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you believe that the change to CDL was worth it, or do you like CWL more? I think CDL needed to happen.
I think it was inevitable and it needed to happen.
Yeah, I think franchising needed to happen. I think Hecz talked about it on his podcast. We're like, it's the right thing, but maybe we're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Right now, like there's some things we need to fix or iron out, but I think this is the way to do it. Otherwise, it would have just stayed stagnant and COD would probably die.
Oh, this is a fun question. Alivo Gaming asks, what's your favorite segment or episode of all time? And then what's each of your worst take on the pod that you hate, that you don't like now? That's an interesting question.
He says Illey Cold War MVP. That was not a bad take. I still think Illey has amazing potential. It didn't work out in Cold War, but I mean, you cannot deny how good he can be.
Okay, fair.
I will not say that's my worst.
Do you have a favorite episode or Cold War segment of all time? That's a weird. I don't know if I have a favorite.
I've had a few favorite episodes. I usually tell you guys when I'm like, oh, I really liked this episode.
I really love the Listener League draft. That was a ton of fun. I had a blast with that.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a really fun episode.
Yeah, I always enjoy whenever Shift comes on. Love Shift.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, every Shift segment has been fantastic. I would maybe say that, just because our bold predictions episode last year was so good,
it was
so many hits.
Yeah.
Like that, looking back on that one was awesome.
Bold predictions are fun.
Yeah. Worst take I've ever had in the pod, though. I honestly don't know because my takes are always so good.
It's not though. It's the take that you don't think Drazah is. You think Drazah is overrated.
I think that you overrate Drazah, not that the public overrates Drazah.
Oh gosh. This is the next question if you read it.
I don't know if I have it I don't know what else would be a really bad take. Although I did think my only one would be that I think that Toronto, I didn't think that they were gonna probably think I was most wrong off was after Toronto won stage 2, I thought they might not be that level for at least a while. I thought they might regress. But they ended up just being beasts. And then I bought in after 3 weeks. I'm like, all right, never mind. Toronto's insane. But I had a bad take there for about 3 weeks. That was I hated myself for. Tight.
Let's read the next question.
Is this a good question?
Just do it.
Let's play a game. You three are put in a room and can't leave till there are only two. The two remaining get $1 million in part ownership of any franchise org they choose. Which one of you guys gets taken? Which guys take out? Which one of you guys would? Which one would you guys take out? And why did you choose Rex?
Wait, so Sam, do you want to kill Josh?
Yes.
No, wait, whoa.
Yeah. Done deal. Josh is out.
Bro, I just want to know if this guy. Like,
I respect that question. That's a hilarious question.
Why did you choose Rex? Oh my gosh!
I respect that,
balding,
Tyler
isn't it?
Price. Party asks, what are you guys looking forward to most in the competitive Call of Duty scene over the next 2 to 3 years? And is there anything you're looking least forward to?
I think for me, it's going to be the growth of like more teams in the CDL. It's for sure bound to happen. I think we're
16
going to
teams.
see, yeah. And then I think also too, it's exciting to like see like also fan growth. Seeing obviously like the return of lands is going to help seeing more and more people tune in and that kind of thing. Least looking forward to.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe bad
Scump retiring.
Yeah, Scump.
Scump
all his
retiring is
guys
the thing I'm
retiring.
least looking forward to
Could be
because
bad.
that is scary.
Potentially bad games. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Rex,
Yeah.
you have anything?
What was the question?
The thing you're most excited for in the next 2-3 years of competitive COD?
Oh, I mean, really just growth, how well that teams can establish themselves, how fan bases can kind of start diversifying.
The thing I'm least looking forward to
it's
is
no fun when everybody is there for OpTic. Like, I love that OpTic has fans, but when it's just everybody, it's like, oh man, like I want to see
know.
other teams have fans when I'm at events.
I agree.
And I think
agree.
that is happening and will happen.
Well, like the Rocker is a pretty good example of that.
Yes.
But
NYSL, well, they're
yeah,
getting
the thing
fans.
that I think everyone's looking least forward to is Legends retiring. The Crims, Clays, Scumps of the world, and now like Formal retired. Like the Legends retiring is probably the worst thing. Ben Sweetman asks, if all teams pan out as we assume, who will be the 8 teams not making champs? Wait, 4? No
what
fence
8
sitting
teams
allowed.
will make champs?
Who will be? No, the 8 teams not make. I think he reassumed. Who's one? I don't know. Let's just say who's one team that you think's not going to make champs that isn't Paris or
That isn't
Washington.
Paris or DC. I don't think Seattle will make.
Depends
Okay.
what Sib can do.
Interesting.
How, what's his hype actually?
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's definitely the one I'm probably lowest on out of all of the rosters.
Mhm.
But we'll see. Again, there's just so many variables there.
Yeah.
All right, we're still firing through. Who's the best of these? Who's the best player of the last 5 CODs?
Jeez.
Wow. So is that dating back to IW?
I mean, that takes out your Simpson Abeezes of the world if we're only talking Pro League. I mean, I'd probably say
Octane.
Scump, to be
Octane.
honest. Octane,
I mean, he was a beast in IW, really good in World War II, then a top 4 player in BO4, and then
I
still
think-
individually talented in Modern Warfare.
I think he wants 5 separate players. Like IW best player, World War II best player, Black Ops 4 best player.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
could be
that's a long
Octane.
question.
Yeah. Let's
Well,
do
I think it's fine like that. We'll just leave it there.
World War II though, for
Grizz-
sure, Kenny.
Oh, yeah. Grizz asks, what needs to happen to make challengers similar to like MLB, or does each org need to be required to sign a team? More tournament exposure. We did talk about this already, but I think like, getting more of the scene just engaged with the names will help a
Mhm.
huge amount. And Zuma, if he does sign a team, that'd be pretty big for the CDL for challengers, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
well,
said,
I
like,
think it's good.
I was gonna say there needs to be like players able to be financially stable somewhat within the challenger.
Yeah, like you have, to be able
like,
to, you have to be able to see a path to becoming
Yeah.
full time.
like you can't have the second place team and below not be able to do it, because then it's like, well, who's gonna stay and grind? No one.
Yeah, that's true. Because then
It
otherwise
needs-
it comes down to favoritism and knowing pro players and
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it needs better structure. And I also think if Zuma picks up a team that's huge, it would be better if like big names, famous names, I guess, content creators, what have you, are promoting a certain challengers team and like footing the bill for it. Because like
That'd
if
be
Zuma
dope.
does pick up a challengers team, I mean, it's probably going to be the favorite challengers team. Like
no matter who's on the roster.
if people are watching, they're probably going to want to watch that. Like he's going to be the only OpTic alive in challengers. So it's like, yeah.
Yes.
Need more
yes.
creators coming in, getting teams so they can get more fans and more eyes there.
This question is who wins a ring first and why? I think we kind of had this question already, or we talked about this last week, I think. But Insight, Sandy, Hydra, Afro, Neptune, Pred, and Drazah. That's just from Mac FPS. So just
probably
real quick.
Insight.
I mean, yeah, I would have to lean Insight, but
Probably Insight.
It could be Hydra though this year. I mean, that team is
Could
nice.
be Hydra. Depends how Toronto does, but
Yeah. Carnage Lust asks, will there be any collab with pro players or coaches or other people in the scene? Would you guys down to go full-time podcast and like more episodes? Keep the good work. I love listening to you guys while working. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
I think all three of us are looking for, full-time within the scene. So
we're looking to level up the pod. I mean, like, realistically, we have to get to the point where we're averaging like 10,000 plus views per episode, like even get to that point of considering it. It's like we're halfway there right now where we're averaging like, between 4 and 8 per episode with the highs of being like, like the Roster Mania videos of 20,000 plus. But we probably just need to get to that 10,000 mark consistently. And then we're like looking in a really good spot. So we'll see. I'd love to do it. So
yeah, same.
We'll see what happens. All right. Tyler Best asks, is there any one defining moment in CoD history that if there was one defining moment in CoD history, what would that be? Also, Bash, it wasn't the wide cam. So he says also, Bash, it wasn't the wide cam. You're that skinny and you're the man.
Let's go. It was an actual 20 pounds, baby. Come on.
Let's go, baby. Things you love to see.
You are the best.
Thank you, Tyler's a beast.
Yes.
Is there one defining moment in Call of Duty history?
What
would be your defining moment in Call of Duty history?
I mean, besides like the change from, CWL to CWL or CWL to CDL, that was like a very big landmark in terms of like defining.
I think when the
moment.
OpTic dynasty was formed.
Ooh, when Karma joined?
When it was the full squad of 4.
After Nadeshot's retirement. You could say Nadeshot's retirement could be like the defining moment.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
In my head, I almost feel like the defining moment would have had to happen before that. Like, because COD was like reaching its like maturity by AW in a sense. Like the scene was becoming established at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I might say Nadeshot's Red Bull sponsorship. Is that kind of a weird one to say? But like,
I mean, that's such a throwback, but yeah.
But like, it like kind of made him like he's the first video game person to get sponsored by Red Bull. Like that's crazy. And in my head, it was like, as coming from like the sports fandom, I'm like, whoa, like esports is a real deal. And that kind of got me on board in a lot of ways.
Maybe even like Call of Duty going to the X Games.
Oh yeah,
that
COD Ghosts, and that was how iconic that tournament is with OpTic playing.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely there. Jake Maverick asks is a fun one. Start, bench, and cut. So a start, bench, cut. We can go through a few of these. I think this actually could be a good title for the podcast. Scump, Clay, and Crim. Start, bench, and cut.
Jeez.
Scump, Clay, and Crim?
I mean, yeah. That's starting off hot. I'm going to start Clay. No, start Scump, bench Clay, and I guess cut Crim. But that feels wrong.
That feels really wrong.
That feels really wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm starting Clay, benching Scump,
and then cutting Crim. That's tough.
Yeah.
They're obviously goats, but
for sure. Yeah.
What do you got, Sam?
I probably just echo Josh. Start Scump, bench
right.
Clay, and
Shotzi, Hydra, Standy, the young gods.
Who was it?
Shotzi, Hydra, Standy. That's so tough.
Cut Standy.
Man, I love all of them.
I'd start Shotzi, bench Hydra,
bench Hydra. Yeah.
Hydra and Standy are really close because it comes down to situations where like I love Hydra's situation with Clay and Crim. But like on every other team, I think I'd rather have Standy just because of like the situational and team play.
I could see that. I could see that.
I'd probably go overall Shotzi, Standy, Hydra. So cut Hydra, but that feels wrong. All right, Illey, Mac, and Awakening. Oh, a little flex action here. Heading into Vanguard, I would assume.
I would start Illey, bench Awakening, and cut Mac.
Yeah, I agree.
Man. Yeah, start Illey, bench Mac, cut Awakening.
Okay. Envoy, Attach, and Hook. Ooh, very fun.
I'll start Envoy,
Yep.
bench Hook, cut Attach.
Start Envoy, bench, Attach, cut Hook.
I'm going to go with a possible high upside. I'm going to start Hook, bench Envoy, and cut Attach.
You Halo fanboy, you. Okay, then we got Kenny, Gunless, and Priesta. More
Start Kenny.
flex action. Yeah, start Kenny.
Bench Priesta, cut Gunless.
Oh, they're so close in my head.
I would use
I agree.
I would use Gunless as a flex here.
Yeah.
So I'll probably start Gunless, bench Kenny, and cut Priesta.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Dashy, Celium, and Cammy.
Start Celium.
Start
Cell.
Celium.
Bench Cammy,
Yeah.
cut Dashy.
Yeah.
Though TBH,
See,
Cammy could be a starter, bet Celium.
My thing
benched.
is like with Cammy is again, I get the hype, but like again, I think on Toronto, I just don't know if he can be Cammy if he's not like right now. I would go Dashy and cut Cammy, but it's really close. If we're talking Toronto, then obviously you keep Cammy. I mean, you start Cammy on that like situation. Like Cammy with Toronto is a god. He's insane. But I think he's undoubtedly transcendent and he's less risky than Cammy. So like if I was building a team, Cammy's just a little risky because we haven't seen him play with anybody else. Where Dashy, we've seen him play with a lot of people and he's great. So that's why I'd go that way. And then the last one, AR, little keep trade cut here, Octane, Arcides, and Skies.
Start Arcides.
Yep. Oh.
I'd start Arcides, bench Octane, cut Skies.
Octane and Skies are really close, but I'd probably in the lean. Octane, we've just seen it for so long now. I think it's hard to deny that he's at least really, really good. And so Skies, he's just a little bit newer in the scene. We haven't seen him win yet. And we see him win online in Modern Warfare, but we haven't seen him like win on LAN yet. So I think I'd give him the tiebreaker with Octane there and Octane. So I'd go with you, Sam.
I'll bench Skies, cut Octane.
Alrighty, there you go. So last two here. Here come Guy asks, oh, interesting. He says, ironically, just talking about Dashy. What do you guys think of Dashy's performance this year? Seems like most people were putting him outside of a top 10, even though he's dropping numbers in slang like the best, basically in the league, like simp the majority of the season. He says, I think the kill horse stuff's a little bit overblown and he might be underrated.
I don't even want to say it's kill horse stuff, but I think there is a synergy that he's not having with the rest of the team. And I equate it to how the kid plays customs with us sometimes, where it's just, you don't know where he is until it's too late. And then they'll do something amazing, but it's like, it's too late.
I think Dashy's X Factor still, though, and Search and Destroy haven't been fully utilized yet by OpTic, and we might see him dominate this year. I think Dashy's still really, really good. In Cold War is a weird situation because, Formal, let's be honest, for the second half of the year, Formal just wasn't Formal.
Yeah.
And that hurt the team a lot. And so I think Dashy's about as good of a player as he gets in CDL. In my opinion, he's insane. So I'm definitely higher on Dashy than most, I feel like, but he's right around that number 10 mark for me, I think, with the rankings. I think I had him in my top 30 when I submitted it for Breaking Point. I think I had him at 30 or at 10. So I'm right there on the edge, but thoughts?
Yeah, I think you just need some wins.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sense. And then the last question. If you could all spend a weekend together at an event shooting the podcast, like an Undisputed First Take thing, like live, what special guest would you want to bring on the pod? Players or casters? How about we do like a dream guest for the podcast? Who's someone that you'd love to just have a long conversation with on the pod?
Clayster.
That's an obvious one for old.
Though
Shady
I think
Nero.
I'd be starstruck. I wouldn't even know what to say. I'd probably
Give
just be
us
like,
a second one. Who's number 2?
I mean, Crimsix.
Okay.
I
I feel like Scump's like an easy answer just because of like his popularity, but
yes, Scump, obviously.
that feels like a gimme just because the podcast would absolutely bang, and that's that I buy it because I know they'd get good views.
Yeah.
I feel like one person I talked about this when he was he was on the flank was I feel like Slasher when he's into a conversation
yes,
is like gives insanely good answers. Like if Slasher's into it, I would love to have a long conversation with Slasher about what makes a good COD pro, like the skills that are important, what he sees in the AM scene and things that AM players do wrong. Like a lot of the stuff like that I feel like pros don't talk about much would be like really interesting if he ever was down to talk about something like that. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Gary V as a podcast guest, just, obviously the co-owner of Rocker, and I'm a Gary V stan though, so that'd be lit. Hecz, of course.
Hecz, yeah.
And then any of the FaZe guys would be lit. Miles would be a great time. Shout out Miles. Have you ever want to come on the pod?
Love Miles and
always-
Chance.
Oh, of course. Any
We can
of
talk
the
about how
casters.
their casting journey. and,
Merc,
like, what they
Maven.
did
I'm down
to
for any of the
improve.
casters to join.
I would love
Hop
to
on,
have
that'd be
Adam Apicella,
Oh yeah, OG.
OG
goat.
Call of Duty guy. So.
100%. But yeah, there's so many people that we could list there. The list would be never ending. Like there's so many interesting people in the scene. And yeah, so overall, there it is, folks. Hopefully we don't miss any. If we missed any, I'm very sorry. That was by complete accident. Oh, Shift said, what does it feel like knowing that you know what you know when you know, you know?
Feels good. It feels like
It feels really good, you know?
Feels like I'm on the Pine Park when I read that.
I'm trying to like break it
Absolute
down, knowing
facts.
what you know when you know it. So I feel like it's sort of a sense of a realization that you're coming to. So when you finally realize something, I mean, I'm just getting too into it, but when I broke it down, that's the one that makes logical sense, right? Based on the sentence structure.
I agree. All right. We obviously, this was the 100th episode. We thought, why not make this the longest of all time? Because it only feels fitting. And with that said, I think we can go into the best segment of all time, Intelligent or Relevant.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
What do we got today, baby? Intelligent or Irrelevant, baby? Episode 100. I'm not exactly sure when Intelligent or Relevant debuted.
I know.
But
it's pretty recent. It's a newer concept, right?
Semi-recent, maybe 30, 40 episodes ago. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah.
So we're still coming up here, but what do we got today on Intelligent or Relevant, Sammy?
Yeah. You know, I went a little sappy here today, boys.
Okay. All right.
Just, in the spirit of things, here was the poll straight up.
I want to hear it.
We just wanted to say you are all relevant. Most of the time.
All right, thanks for the pod, guys. We'll see you next week.
But real, thank you all for your support over these past 2 years. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It has.
And hope we can keep our community going for years to come.
Yeah,
I did give 2 options here. First option was relevant. The second option was relevant, but with a dog emoji. So what do you think they?
Sam, that is some funny stuff right there.
It's some fun stuff.
I mean, the dog had to have won, right? Come on, the dog had to have won. I would vote for the dog.
Yeah. So I clicked on just relevant. Okay. 75% said relevant, but with a dog.
There you go.
So,
see, I mean, that was inevitable, 100%. Yeah. We'll see, but. It's crazy, guys. I mean, we do have some things that we're definitely considering for the future that we haven't talked about on the pod yet. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but we definitely want to try some new segments out in the future. We want to experiment with maybe some VOD review or watching some matches back or reacting to some things at some points or doing some more content like that sometimes. So
I feel like the VOD review would be... I feel like it'd be would
be very interesting. I mean, if we could, there's always those types of possibilities and breaking down, maybe it's more in-depth, player profile type talks, and talking about one player as a segment or something like that, some in-depth COD stuff once in a while, more often throughout the season. different ideas like that. But we appreciate all of you guys who made it here to the end of the episode, like over 2 hours in. All y'all are goated if you guys made it this far. We appreciate you guys. And hopefully we can do this for a long time. Also, keep a lookout on Twitter for some different things I think we all want to do. We definitely want to do a giveaway before the year starts. So be on lookout for another giveaway. We did one last year, so we thought it'd be fun to do one again this year. And all of that. So we appreciate you guys again for tuning in. Drop your comments down below. Drop your 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate all of that. Follow us on Twitter, SalvationsElite, Bash_Bo3, and Shady Nero. But as always, guys, I'm Josh, SalvationsElite. To my right is Bash_Bo3, and to our farthest right, per usual, is Rex, Shady Nero. And guys, this has been the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports podcast. And guys, we will see ya next time. Episode 101. Ooh, yeah.